spoke loud and clear today that they believe in our park system. They value having those spaces to gather as community. They value having open spaces in every part of our city.
Now it's 6 o'clock. A levy that would raise taxes for Portlanders to fund the city's parks is on track to pass. We're going to have the latest on this story, including how much it will cost the average homeowner. That's coming up in one of our top stories.
And we are officially in the midst of the longest government shutdown in American history. Now, Oregon SNAP recipients are being told they'll receive 50% of their usual monthly allowance, something the state says it hasn't received funding for.
Today is also a KGW Weather Impact Alert Day. Pacific Power says it is ready to respond to any down power lines or power outages that may happen because of heavy wind and rain today. We'll have that story for you, plus Rod's Wednesday forecast. All of that as we kick off the 6 o'clock hour of sunrise right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Wednesday. I'm Shining Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. All right, Chris McGinnis, we have to give Rod Hill the top billing here because it is a Weather Impact Alert Day. So, Rod, the floor is yours.
Yeah, and you had that PGE blurb there, and a reminder that when you have leaves still on the trees this time of the year, the wind is that much more of a threat because there's more of the tree, if you will, for the wind to catch. So the odds of a tree coming down are better than if there weren't any leaves on the tree in the first place. And we could have some 40-mile-per-hour gusts in the valley today, and sometimes that's enough for some spotty tree issues. So keep that in mind. The impact alert for heavy rain showers and gusty south winds in effect today, tonight, and tomorrow. Now, right now, it's not that bad outside. We have broken areas of mostly light to some moderate rain, but nothing stormy currently on the radar. Clearly, you're going to be grabbing your rain boots if you have them and your rain gear. Here's our state capitol down in Salem. Temperatures are not going to be an issue today at all. Right now, it's 53 and will be in the 50s throughout the day today. South winds expected to start picking up in the valley in the coming hours. And again, there could be some thunder mixed in. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with a traffic alert on the southbound Markham Bridge. You can see a couple of emergency responders dealing with a spin out. It looks like a car hit the rail there and is facing the wrong direction. A different perspective here from our Rose City Sky camera certainly shows the slowing around that. And it's just a reminder, as you come up on situations like this on the road, you need to slow down and or move over. That is the law, right? It's the move over and slow down law to protect emergency responders in these situations. Of course, we had the overnight rain and there's plenty of standing water in some cases. This is a look at the Salmon Street exit ramp from I-405 north. You can see that puddle's fairly deep. Another one, the Greeley exit ramp from northbound I-5. This one is several inches deep. So even though the rain hasn't been terribly heavy overnight, guys, there is still plenty of water on the roads in some cases. We'll keep you posted.
All right, thank you, Chris. We are tracking election night results this morning, both around the country and right here in the Northwest. For local voters, there were a lot of ballot measures to weigh in on.
Some measures people voted on could raise property taxes. One of those was the Portland Parks levy, which is on track to pass with nearly 54% of voters approving it. That's a closer margin than in years past. Back in 2020, the levy passed with a 64% of voters voting for it. Now let's get to Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz, who joins us live from downtown Portland. And Thomas, this is an increase in taxes.
Yeah, it's a big one at that, too. This is about a 75% increase for taxpayers. It's about $133 for the average homeowner. And it comes as the city is facing big questions about park maintenance and park funding. The Parks Bureau says 90% of facilities are in, quote, poor condition, warning if the measure failed, they'd have to slash operations by 50%. Though an audit released earlier this year says the Parks Department doesn't have a plan to pay for upkeep, adding the Bureau has failed to show cost-saving measures. Last night, supporters of the levy, including Portland City Council President Alana Purtle-Gani, gathered to watch the results. She says the levy is aimed at increasing transparency and accountability.
In this levy, we ensured that we included the cost of new facilities that were coming online. We don't want to make those same mistakes. What we do want is a fully functional park system with the investment that we need as a city to provide the program that Portlanders have asked for in our parks. And that's what Portlanders spoke to today.
Now, most city councilors are in favor of this levy. There is one who's a holdout. That's City Councilor Dan Ryan. He says that the Parks Department, instead of asking taxpayers for more money, should focus on generating their own funding. Guys?
All right, Thomas Schultz reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Thomas. All right, now let's take a look at some of the other results from last night's election.
Yeah, in Washington County, there were two levies that carried tax implications. The first, a public safety levy. That one is on track to pass, you see right there, with 57% of the votes so far saying yes. Property taxes, by the way, could go up 3% with this levy. Washington County says that money will go towards things like investigating and prosecuting theft, child abuse and pornography cases, preventing domestic violence, and fully funding the county jail. The other one we're tracking in Washington County is the library services levy. Similar margin here for this one. If it passes, funding will go towards several areas, including reading and learning supports for kids and teens.
Let's take a look at Clackamas County. We're watching two school bond measures there. First, Lake Oswego, which appears to be passing by a wide margin with more than 70% in favor. Roughly $245 million would go towards replacing 2 elementary schools, repairing other schools, and improving safety and technical education. The race is much closer, though, in the Westland-Wilsonville School District. Right now, the yeses are on top with more than 52%. If approved, $190 million will go towards building repairs, upgraded technology and security, and improving athletic facilities.
Across the Columbia, in Vancouver, Proposition 5 is passing right now with 57% of the vote. This is a levy lid lift, so this would raise, or allow, I should say, Vancouver police to hire 13 more officers and also add more equipment. Last November, voters in Vancouver rejected a similar but much larger levy. And we're also tracking the mayor's race in Vancouver. Incumbent Ann McInerney-Ogle cruising towards a third term. You see she's well ahead of small business owner Justin Forsman with 70% of the vote. McInerney-Ogle, by the way, gave her support to Prop 5, while Forsman did not.
And we'll continue to keep track of these results throughout the morning here on Sunrise. You can also stay up to date on the latest local election results by texting the word election to 503-226-5088. And we'll text you back the link with the latest results.
All right, we have some signs this morning. Signs that point towards a potential end to what is now the longest government shutdown in U.S. history.
Senators from both parties are quietly trying to negotiate a deal to reopen the government. They're also looking to come to a compromise on expiring health insurance subsidies. Senators say that those negotiations have intensified and come as hundreds of thousands of federal employees have been furloughed or are working without pay.
So while that's happening, millions of SNAP recipients still waiting for a slimmed down version of their benefits. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us here with the latest on that. Corey, we know that states at this point are trying to fill the gap for those people.
That's right, Drew.
China, Oregon officials tell us they're being told to issue 50% of the usual monthly amount, but the state says it hasn't yet received that federal funding in order to do that. This comes after the USDA announced Monday it would use the emergency fund to cover 50%
Of current benefits for the 42 million Americans who receive SNAP each and every single month. Now, there are roughly 750,000 Oregonians waiting on those benefits. The Sunshine Division Food Pantry in Southeast Portland says it's seen a constant stream of families picking up boxes of food amid the SNAP gap. Pantry officials saying the organization's home delivery list filled within hours. Nearly 2,000 families signed up for holiday food boxes in just one day, a process that used to take weeks. And that includes residents who say they never expected to be on SNAP in the first place.
I kind of had to be pulled kicking and screaming to do it because in the past we did pretty well, and then my profession kind of hit bottom with COVID, and all of a sudden I went from 6 figures to a lot less.
Now, the White House says it'll tap into a contingency fund for emergencies in order to pay out the partial benefits. Drew.
All right, Corey Johnson live for us here this morning. We also want to let you know we still have that growing list of local businesses on our website, businesses that are stepping up to help out right now, either by donating, fundraising, or giving out free meals. If you text the word SNAP to that number on your screen, 503-226-5088, we'll text you back with a link that takes you directly to the list. You can also, by the way, add names to the list, other businesses that should be on it if we haven't seen them already. Again, this is all for your benefit here on the Sunrise Show.
Your time now is 6:09. Today is a KGW weather impact alert day. We're taking a live look at Providence Park right now, where you can see the rain is coming down in the lights there. So Rod Hill's going to walk us through what we can expect throughout the day. Rod?
So what I'm noticing right now, and it's tough to tell on radar because I'm not zoomed in enough, but we are starting to see some heavier rain pockets develop along the coast. For the last couple of hours, it's been raining, yes, but mostly gentle stuff. We've picked up about a half of an inch of rain in Portland since 10 o'clock last evening. What this will become in the coming hours this morning is more of a scattered heavy rain shower day. There's at least the possibility of hearing a rumble of thunder, and I think if you're outdoors working, you may have to run and get some cover from these heavy downpours from time to time and then get back to work. So far, the only wind of note are the easterlies gusting to 30 coming out of the gorge, but those winds will veer to the south, and through the morning hours, we'll slowly get into noticeable south winds, breezy to gusty, racing up the valley. 15 to 30, absolutely. Maybe we get some gusts closer to 40 at some time. The Providence Park temperature there is 49 degrees. Temperature starting off generally around 50 will generally hold in the mid to upper 50s today. Forest Grove, you're a little bit cooler. You're at 49 degrees. Good morning to you. There's Salem and Albany, each at 53. And the weather map for today. So this turns into a numerous shower day, but heavy downpours mixed in. Again, maybe a rumble of thunder. South winds 15 to 30, some higher gusts potentially. None of this meets National Weather Service warning criteria, which is good news. It's simply going to be a very active weather day that, as I mentioned, you'll need to kind of deal with the weather if you're out and about. The impact alert today and tomorrow. Friday, the wind threat's gone. The thunder threat's gone. Showers will be ending during the day. We're dry Friday night and dry for a pretty nice weekend as well. That's the reward. All right, that's your update.
Thank you, Rod.